get the most eyes on your vehicle, you need the best that the rest will see. At Lightning Wraps, you get the best at an affordable price compared to the rest. Be sure to check us out on Facebook for more information.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Got a great car, great team, we'll execute. Our time, we know what we gotta do. Stay in the fight, between the walls.
Time to turn the intensity up.
We'll fight till the end, no matter what happens. Good day to be in victory lane.
Green flag is in the air. Driving with conviction.
Side by side, hammer down.
The after-catcher will count out anybody. Who wants it the most?
We are eyes on the leader now.
He is driving his guts out. Wheel to wheels, they come to the line. Victory this will be.
Nobody wants it more than you.
Next flag is going to end it.
Does he have enough? Holy cow, baby! A dominant performance.
You gotta say now, baby. Let's go!
Can you believe what you are seeing? Everybody pushing as hard as they can get it. One final shot.
Gotta earn this thing right here to the end.
It is all on the table.
A total 500.
What you know about rolling down in the deep? Down in the deep.
Never know, y'all be loving this shit
What
right
you know
here.
about rolling, rolling, rolling?
What you gonna do?
Rolling, rolling.
What you gonna do?
Down in the rolling, rolling, rolling.
What you gonna do? Right, y'all be loving this.
And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Lightning eSports truck is for race number 2 season Chicagoland Speed, getting wrapped green, and the driver will be green. I'm Oscar Jensen, joined by Bryce Shoemaker in the booth tonight. We got a good old race ahead of us. I think we saw a photo finish last week at Talladega with what was probably the closest finish on Turn Sector Media channel. Let's go ahead and go down our starting lineup here for tonight's main event. On row number 1, we have Dennis Warnes, Robert Kahn, who is outside. Row number 2 will be Chris Barker, and then Jeffrey Ledford. Row number 3 will be Christian Shriver and Michael Ware. Row number 4, we'll have Jonathan Stidham and Bud Shear. Row number 5, we'll go back to Jason Henry and Jesse Fox. Row number 6, we'll have Mathis Bernachez, I hope I said that right, and Chris Phillips. Row number 7 will be Michael Chanel and Alex Foster, who is outside. Then we head back to road number 8, which will introduce us to Rusty Jordan and Truth Hoke. Road number 9 will be Sean Burke. Road number 10 we'll have Kevin Baker and then Joshua Pennell. Road 10 we'll have Orton Russell, who went for that wild rock at lap number 3. Then Chantel Pottle to his outside. Number 12 will be Brandon McKee and Brandon 4K. Row number 13 will be Right Out and Sebastian and then rounding will be and looks like we got going on. See if that potentially can help us out. Let's go ahead and look ahead at our race analysis. 80 laps on tonight's race, 122 miles. Last week's winner, Jeffrey Ledford. Pit road speed, 50 miles an hour, 3 sets of tires these drivers have, and our estimated fuel window is about 33 to 41 laps. Bryce, I'm excited. I think you are too. Pace car is going to pull off. Let's get these drivers ready to take the green flag. We're off and racing. Green flag in the air for race number 2.
Great start by Robert Kahn. We always see that Pool Sitter get the great launch here on Lightning eSports, but Robert Kahn started P2. He's going to clear here off turn 2 and get the run down the backstretch.
Robert Kahn looking to take the early race lead away. He's got hungry drivers behind him, though. They're side by side for a second. Down the front straightaway, Dennis has the advantage, and we've got a caution in the back. And it looks like it's going to involve the Ford truck. So early troubles.
Something we have. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Sorry, that was.
First race here without a super speedway. These drivers are going to be figuring out the truck. Chicagoland's a very low grip, 1.5 miles, and the track temp is up there above 100 degrees. So I'm not shocked to see us have an early caution.
And the handling at this track with all that playing in effect, let's go ahead and see it. What exactly caused the incident here? Looks like we have to go back a little bit of a ways still. See if we can get a better. Oh, some contact from the one of Orton Russell, looks like. Oh, then a late hit there as well from, can't quite tell who that is. Yeah, that, I don't know, Bryce. That looks to, I mean, just kind of hard racing, I'd say. And I don't know if Joshua knew that Orton was going to be that tight on his door and entry, and unfortunately made contact. And he almost had it saved, but unfortunately went around and then got hit there by, I think that's the 91 of Sebastian Chanel. What are your thoughts, Bryce?
Yeah, it just looks like Orrin Russell was going for a later arc turn in to turn 3, and Joshua Pennell there obviously going for the same space that he was, and they just met in the middle, and unfortunate contact there.
Wow, an interesting start to this race involving at least 3 trucks. That's the 05, I believe, as well involved. That's Chantel. Well, we'll be able to stack him up again here, Bryce. And you mentioned the weather. Let's go ahead and look at that here quick. Temp 76, winds not too high. The forecast partly cloudy, track temp like you mentioned a few moments ago, it's 104, so gonna be hot, gonna be slick, and I think you said it perfectly. With the hotter track temps, it's probably gonna give these drivers a handful to work with.
Yeah, absolutely. And for anyone that doesn't know about Chicagoland, it is one of the most worn out racetracks on the surface, and there's a lot of tire wear. So you put it in the hot sun here, 104 degrees, we're going to have an accelerated tire wear. We're going to see these trucks either build really tight, they use the right front, or what more commonly happens here, they might be using that right rear a lot here, especially if they move up the track and use the high line, and that'll cook the right rear. So this will be interesting to see this race play out as we're about to take the green.
In through the restart zone, green flag racing again, and we already have contact behind. That's the 46 of Truth Hoke not getting going and causing a massive checkup behind, and now, I'm sorry, that was Chris Barker in the 46. So we talked about this track being slick and not having a whole lot of grip, being a little bit worn out, and we see it right here under this restart. The 46 tried to get it going, and I think probably had some tire spin that caused him to check up a bit. So another incident here early on related to not a lot of grip being on this track. And Bryce, we both know how difficult this track can be. You've won here at least once in another league. You've had multiple starts here, and you can kind of, you know, understand how these drivers have to manage restarts and just green flag runs in general, because like you said, it's a little bit worn out, not as much grip, and this is a cause of trying to get going on tires that, even though they didn't really get that big of a heat cycle, there's still heat on the tires.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're seeing everything about Chicagoland on display. We just talked about the older asphalt and all that. Well, older asphalt means that the tires aren't going to grip up even with the truck and all the downforce. And like you said, not many green flag laps even run on these tires. So it may not look like it, but restarts are one of the most challenging things about stock car racing as well, and we're seeing it.
And let's see the troubles here on this restart. So the 46 on that outside lane in the second row, see him start to get going, might have also got hit from the back. That's the 42 behind him, who also made contact with the 46 truck here. Yeah, I don't know if he also not have been able to time the restart correctly, which kind of, there's a lot of things going on there, Bryce, I'd say.
Yeah, look at the replay more closely, especially with those cables. It definitely looks like he didn't time it correctly, and the truck behind him got such a run, and once you get hit like that from behind with that momentum, there's just nothing you can do to save the truck.
All right, so we're going to line him up again and get another restart under our belts. Early incidents here, as we're only 8 laps into this thing.
Yeah, we talked about it. 2 early cautions. My biggest thing that I talk about in these races is the first half is always about that learning and see what the truck does in race conditions. Well, we're almost 10 laps already into this thing, and we really haven't learned anything. So these guys are going to run out of time to use their time to learn, and it's going to be go time before you know it.
We'll see if these guys can hang on to it here. Pace car's getting ready to pull off once again. Robert Kahn going to be leading the way into the restart zone. Dennis to his inside, green flag waving once again here.
A much better even start between the two front rows of Robert Kahn and Dennis Warnes. So they're dead even going into 1 and 2. Coming out of 1 and 2 is going to be a drag race down the backstretch with Robert Kahn getting that run off turn 2.
Diving to the inside, Dennis tried to take a look for the race lead, not able to pull it off. Now they're going to be racing for a second. He's got Shriver behind him. Bud Sherritt taking a look to the outside of Ledford. Remember, those two drivers able to battle it out for the race win at Talladega. And look at Bud with an incredible run off the high side. Now looking to the inside for the race lead down the back straightaway. Side drafting hard. Going into 3 now. Bud able to clear, and Bud will take the race lead away from Robert Kahn.
What a run by Bud Shear. We've seen it. He used that momentum off the high side of 1 and 2 and just never lifted, never backed off, and took that momentum straight to the lead.
A power move by Bud. Drivers back further in the pack, battling it out for positions. You're watching a battle for that 9th position, the 94 of Sean Burke, trying to hang on while also trying to gain the position. The 24. And I think that's actually a missed number. I think that's the 5 of Foster to his outside.
Right now, great battle for they're 3 wide down the backstretch. They're giving everything they have. One of the best parts about Chicagoland, every group is you can run bottom, you can run middle, you can run top. And depending on how you run it, you're not going to really hurt your tires either, in my opinion, if we're running the top and middle compared to the bottom. You just take care of them and you don't have to burn your right rear up. So, very racy racetrack, and you're seeing all these drivers really using up all the lanes early on in this race.
Yeah, this track allowing, like you said, a lot of lanes to be used. We'll probably see a lot of these drivers try and make the passes on that higher side. The groove is usually down towards that bottom when you're trying to just save tire and just make do with what you have. But we saw Bud use that outside lane, which is a perfect example of trying to gain the momentum off the high side. You see the 94, Sean Burke here, also using that middle lane, getting a good run off the 11 truck of Rusty Jordan behind him. So there's a lot of lanes to work with. You also got to be mindful not to burn up your tires, though, because tires are going to be the name of the game. And we estimated, I think we said about 30 to 41 laps on fuel. Probably are just a little bit in between that. So 30 wide down the front straightaway here as well. So, I mean, we're more than likely going to get a green flag run at some point in this race, so you're going to have to be able to adjust for the long runs and not just set sail for these shorter runs.
Yeah, you can just visually see the different mindsets in this race. We've seen Bud Shear go off and attack at the 0.6 of a second lead right now. You see some guys, they're going to drop back to the field just a little bit in positions, and you're going to see them probably around about 25 to 30. Make their way through the front, kid pops the seat by Shear. So this will be interesting once we get laps on these tires right now, but you can definitely see the different mindsets going into here.
Side by side for 7th. Phillips wants it. Michael Chanel has it. Chanel running a little bit higher, trying to hold off that hard charging Chris Phillips, who able to get around him now. So Chris Phillips going to move himself to 7th. Michael Chanel back to that 8th position. Alex Foster right behind him, also making up some ground on the drivers in front of him.
looking at Michael Chanel's right front fender, I actually see a little bit of damage, and I wonder if that's going to be hurting him at all, especially when we get to this longer portion of the race. Definitely narrow is definitely really important for a track like Chicagoland. So I wonder if he got that on the restart rack and didn't know he had that type of damage. It's definitely he's starting to fall back a little bit more and more as the run goes on.
Yeah, and this shot right here kind of proves to that right front damage maybe being in a little bit more critical spot. Maybe not as helpful as maybe some other damage on the truck, but like you said, Bryce, handling in these trucks such a big factor, and just a little bit of damage anywhere on that right side is really going to be hurtful, and it's going to make your truck not be able to turn probably as well in these corners. And at a high-speed track like this, you need as much turn as you can get, and you see him maybe trying to use that higher side to help it turn, but right now he's under pressure again from the 87 of Kevin Baker, who gets by him, and now that's going to open up the door for the 94 of Sean Burke to take a look for that position as well. So Michael Chanel falling back, losing some spots here quickly early on.
Yeah, it's better because we get the one faction here, obviously, but that is probably on the surface, maybe not even 30 seconds of damage that could easily be fixed. But if we don't get no more caution for the race, we might have to think about using that fast repair on the next pit stop coming up here. So it's definitely hurting. We see he's outside the top 10 now, and he's about to fall to 12 here. So definitely something he's gonna have to think about when we get close to those pit stops.
Pit stop's going to be crucial to get on and off of pit road, execute the best that you can. You don't want to lose time. You don't want to get a speeding penalty. We see it in a lot of races where people might take it a little bit more aggressively, trying to get under, get onto pit road under green flag conditions, and then either lock it up and spin out or get a speeding penalty. We saw last week at Talladega, a lot of these drivers have some moments when trying to get on pit road, and actually I think we saw a few guys spin as well when coming onto pit road. So a little bit different style of a track, not as quick coming down pit road, but still very much a possibility to have open with maybe a mistake or two.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking about that, you know, last week, pit road entry, you're more battling the trucks around you coming to pit road entry. Now that we're not on that super speedway anymore, you're going to be battling the track itself. Things have changed. Worn out asphalt, the worn tires that are overheated and slick. That's what you're going to be dealing with when you enter pit road here at Chicagoland. So, definitely some of these drivers are going to be getting the brake biases adjusted here when those pit stops come up, and we're going to really get an early treat here. We talked about last year, last season, when it is greatest strengths was his on and off the field run. You know, that can make such a big difference as we were going almost 4 wide here.
Oh, and a wiggle out of the 47 here. Off of 4. Almost had him go sideways, able to hang on to it. And I was going to mention what a mess we have going on here. There's about 8 drivers battling for this 16th, 16th, 17th position. They're 3 wide once again down the back straightaway, entering turns 3 and 4. Now back to 2 wide. Looks like pit stops as well. Also in trouble in front of them. That's the 87 car.
Yeah, we really hit the fall off of those tires. We seen trucks sliding around. They were out of control there. We seen a lot of trucks to burn off their tires, and I'm surprised we didn't caution sooner. They did a great with those battles. That was crazy.
That was definitely some intense racing, and I think those guys knew that they had to be aggressive to make the pass. The 87 of Kevin Baker here. He's the one who brought out the caution going through the grass with the spin. And it looked like some pit stops were starting, and I'm wondering if maybe some drivers didn't get the memo and might have tried to check up for that. We'll take a look here, though. Yeah, I mean, this is another difficult thing, like we talked about, Bryce, literally just a few laps ago, is how difficult pit stops can be, and getting onto pit road like that when you have other guys pitting in front of you, you've got to have solid communication with your spotter and your team to figure out who is coming down around you, and that's the 11 truck of Rusty Jordan, who you saw come down pit road right in front of them there, and not really blaming any driver there. It's just it happens, right, Bryce?
Yeah, we kind of talked about last week, the importance of live spotters. Obviously, on the sim, you can't stick your hand up the window or anything like that, so it kind of does just look like there was some miscommunication. The driver of the 94 didn't know that Rusty Jordan was pitting, and last second his came up, and unfortunately there was a truck to his outside.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I mean, the importance of having a live spotter might help that case. I mean, it was either going to be a really close call either way, even with the live spotter. But again, no blame on either driver there. It's just, unfortunately, you know, when green flag pit stops happen, you don't want to share your strategy, and sometimes you don't always get the call from drivers in front of you. And unfortunately, this is sometimes the outcome of that. But a nice job by both those, actually all those drivers, to reduce any sort of damage. I think everybody really came out of that either minimum to no damage, so great job by those guys.
Yeah, it definitely looks like there's no damage on anyone, so that definitely could have been worse. More trucks could have definitely been involved than just the ones involved as well, so great job by everyone. And like we were saying before that caution even came out, with how slick those tires were, we see 2, 3, 4 wide racing for like 3-4 laps straight there, and you could just see them sliding around. One truck would pass and then they would fall back as well. So definitely some intense racing. I think these guys are glad that that caution's out and they can catch their breath a little bit here.
Yeah, you make another good point right there, Bryce. I mean, I know when you get to aggressive racing, I mean, it's fun, don't get me wrong, but sometimes it's a little too much for me inside that race car, and when you get a caution like that, it definitely allows you to reset your mind mentally, and also maybe give you something to work with if you found something out on the track before that you can apply to a restart. So these drivers getting lined up to get another restart here at lap 29. Pace car moments to pull off. Bud Shear gonna lead the field to green here. Robert Kahn, who was leading that race for a little bit there, falling back to fourth after this caution into the restart zone. Green flag back in the air. We're off and racing, and a good start by Bud for that front position. He's gonna be able to clear himself into 1 and 2 by about a truck length or two.
Yeah, great start for Bud, but better start for Chris Phillips and then number 6 Chevy. He used that third lane and went straight to the front. He's going to be clear, and he's going to be running 3 here.
He was 4 rows back on the outside on that restart, and now he's moved himself to that second position, looking for the race lead on the outside, heading into turns 1 and 2. He's giving Bud a run for the money side by side. Now it looks like Phillips has the advantage and will be able to clear himself for the race lead.
Yeah, what a fantastic race. You just said he was 4 rows back, now he's the race leader. Now we gotta look out for seeing how much they fall off. We see Butcher push it on that first run. He fell outside the top 5 actually before that caution came out. So we see the tires die on that track. Chris is really pushing hard. You already see the gap building. So this is gonna be interesting. I know it's gonna probably be a shorter run because I do believe they have one more Greek like pit stop left in this race. So this run might not even be as long as that first one, but I'd probably start to dial it back now that you have that clean air and the big gap that you already have.
Yeah, like you mentioned, more than likely going to have another pit stop here in about, I'd say, probably 30-ish laps. So if we don't see a caution, it'll definitely be something that these drivers will need to keep in mind. Right now, though, Chris Phillips at the front. An amazing restart for him. Able to clear the field and put himself in that top spot. Now putting a bit of a distance between him and Ledford, last week's race winner at Talladega, currently in that second position. Robert Kahn, you remember, he's got a championship under his belt in this league, running third there. And then Jason Henry, who was also a part of that photo finish last week at Talladega, in fourth. So a lot of good guys in this top 4 position, looking to cap off tonight with momentum from last week or from last season's ending.
Yeah, Oscar, you said it. Momentum. Momentum is such a real thing in NASCAR and iRacing. It doesn't matter where. And you get those good finishes. You're part of a photo finish. You get to be part of history, and you have the. You feel like you can do anything in the league. So we're seeing it. All those guys involved in that photo finish, they're running top 5 now, and they're putting themselves in great spots for another great finish here tonight.
Well, we'll see how these guys can carry momentum, or maybe have some new familiar faces, or just new faces in general, maybe make their way up at the end of this race. We're going to go ahead and take our first side-by-side commercial break. You guys won't miss a thing, though. We'll be right back.
To get the most eyes on your vehicle, you need the best that the rest will see. At Lightning Wraps, you get the best at an affordable price compared to the rest. Be sure to check us out on Facebook for more information.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Got a great car, great team. Let's go execute. Our time. We know what we got to do. Stay in the fight between the walls.
Time to turn the intensity up.
Fight to the end, no matter what happens. Good day to be in victory lane.
Green flag is in the air. Driving with conviction.
Side by side, hammer down.
The after Jensen will count out anybody who wants it the most.
We are eyes on the leader now.
He is driving his guts out. Wheel to wheels, they come to the line. Victory this will be.
Nobody wants it more than you.
Next flag is going to end it.
Does he have enough? A dominant performance.
Stay down, baby. Let's go.
Can you believe what you are seeing? Everybody pushing as hard as they can.
What you know about rolling down in the deep? Down in the deep. Never know we don't be loving this shit right here. About rolling. What you gonna do? Rolling. What you gonna do? Down in the rolling. What you gonna do? Right, don't be loving this.
And welcome back in, ladies and gentlemen, to the Lightning eSports Truck Series, live from Chicagoland Speedway. 42 laps in the book. Working on lap 43. You saw it under side-by-side commercial. The 87 of Kevin Baker went for almost a spin and was able to hang on to it. Then also a change of position for this second place. Ledford getting passed by Kahn. And Chris Phillips still up at the front. Bryce, it was a pretty interesting few laps while we were away, but there's a lot going on. A lot of guys now maybe starting to come to life on this long run, and I think this is really going to be the point where we see who is able to save some tire and make their way up through the field and maybe gain some positions.
Yeah, absolutely. Good to start off with Chris Phillips. We've seen that impressive restart. I thought he was going to get using his tires, but the moment he got to the lead, he started backing it down and started protecting the tires, and we still see him leading. And the big shock that I have right now is Bud Shear. He's dropped to 13th position now after being second after everything sorted out on that restart. So we're seeing him drop a little bit, and we're seeing him actually pit right now. So green flag pit stops are underway, but we're seeing him struggle with some long run speed, which for us, we are not used to seeing.
Yeah, definitely surprised by that. Remember, Bud Shear having a breakout season last season, finishing it off on top with the race win and the championship. So definitely having the high horse this season, but definitely going to need to figure out something here at Chicagoland tonight as we got a battle for the race lead. Robert Kahn looking to the inside of Phillips. Phillips fighting back on the outside, and this is going to slow him down to allow Jason Henry and Ledford behind to close in on those two for the top position.
Yeah, great charge by Robert Kahn. Contact out of 3 and 4. What a save. Just saying, Robert Kahn showing why he's a past champion in this league, and he's coming back for vengeance. We know he didn't make the Final Four, did not have the playoffs like he won last season, so he's coming here to prove why he's a champion in the league.
And a scared moment, like you mentioned right there, between Kahn and Phillips, but a great save by Kahn, gonna keep him out front, and Phillips now under pressure for that second position. Henry to his outside will be able to clear now. Ledford says he wants a part of this race as well. So the 4-horse battle race up at the front, separating these guys by about a car length or less. We'll see which one of these guys is able to hang on to the race lead. Robert Kahn has it. Ledford, Henry, Phillips all want it though. And now Phillips under pressure. They're going to be side by side into turns 3 and 4. Phillip trying to get back to the back bumper, but not quite able to make it work. Sliding up, getting tied off for 4, and that's going to allow Ledford to put some distance between him and Phillips and hold on to that third position.
Yeah, I was just praising Chris Phillips for his long run pace. I don't know if I just commentated or jinxed his tires, but it's like his truck just shut off. It is definitely struggling here now in the longer part of this run, so just shocked to see that. I mean, wow, what a turn of events, just leading and now we're back to P4. Right now, the big thing with Mount Hask and the trucks, he needs to hang in there in the draft. If he just hang into that slipstream in that draft until those green flag pit stops, he'll have a shot to get back into this race for the lead.
Yeah, making it to that scheduled green flag pit stop going to be critical. You don't want to have to pit earlier than you need to. And making that right front last to the best of your ability, definitely going to need to be a crucial factor for these drivers if they want to contend for the race win. Like Bryce mentioned, Phillips was looking good out front and then started to lose the handling of that race truck, and now falling back to 4th and losing more time. He's going to fall off of those top 3 drivers in front of him, as looks like Trevor back here and Hoke and Baker going for positions. Green flag pit stop starting as well. Kahn leading them on to pit road. That's going to move the race lead to Ledford.
Yeah, I'm kind of shocked to see Jeffrey Ledford didn't pit with all his competition, because he was right there. But interesting call. We'll see see how long he goes, as it actually looks like he might be coming in this time by.
Now Ledford easing it on to pit road. You don't want to speed. You don't want to make any mistakes. He's going to work it down pit road here, and we'll see how much time the difference will be compared to Robert Kahn, who was leading there. And boy, what a mess pit exit's going to be. All these guys trying to merge back on track, trying to get up to speed. You got to be mindful, and like we talked about earlier, Bryce, you got to be able to listen to your spotter, and he's got to relay information about who's pitting. We already saw once an incident when pit roads are starting, and hopefully these drivers are able to communicate with their spotters and maybe get a little bit better information for this round of pit stop. So far, going without really any major incidents.
Yeah, it looks like everyone's getting through pit stops pretty smooth. It definitely helped them short out this time to go around. So looks like it's all clean and green, and it looks like right out to one of our last ones that haven't pitted. It's coming in this time by, as the caution is out.
Caution is out, and I'm trying to figure out who it is. Looks like it's the 91 of Sebastian Chanel here up against the wall on the outside of turns 3 and 4. Heavy damage, it looks like, as well. And that happened right behind Rideout, who is coming down pit road. So, Bryce, I don't know if it's just timing or if we're actually jinxing it, but it seems like we say something that could potentially be going right, and then it gets changed real quick. So maybe a little bit of announcer's jinx, which I apologize for on both of our ends, but this is going to bring out a caution here at lap 55.
Yeah, that is something I continue to learn as I do the broadcast up here with Turn Sector Media, is just don't call any drivers' names out, because you're going to jinx them, and I'm quickly learning that tonight.
Always a good feeling, or not a good feeling. Always not a good feeling to be talking about something and then seeing that driver going around 2 seconds later. Let's go ahead and take a look here and see what happened with Sebastian Chanel. So we have to go back a little bit further of a ways. Yeah, I mean, I'd say that's probably just another miscommunication when trying to come down pit road. Unfortunately, I mean, obviously Sebastian's a little bit slower going around turns 3 and 4 than the 42. I think that is Jonathan Sidham. Unfortunately got into the back of him and sent Chanel into that outside wall. So I'm not quite sure. And actually, if we go back here, so Chanel was actually coming off of pit road. So I'm not quite sure if maybe there was some sort of issue not allowing him to get up to speed, or maybe he was potentially just not able to get fully up to speed quite yet with how his truck is handling. But either way, he got a bump from behind from the 42 truck, and around he goes.
Yeah, that's definitely a strangest looking. It definitely looks like Chanel can go at the speed like we did some bit slow coming off pit road. And yeah, I don't know what else to say on that one. That one was a tough one to look at for sure.
But again, Bryce, I mean, that's just difficulties of this racetrack and how difficult, not necessarily getting on the pit road, but just trying to communicate with the drivers around you is. We talk about not wanting to share strategy, not letting these opponents know, you know, your next move, which sometimes can result in that. But it's just, it's a part of racing, right, Bryce? I mean, you can't blame anybody specifically, really, except maybe the spotters up above on the stand, which I know if you're a driver you love to do, but it's just a part of the racing that we see nowadays, you know, just trying to get every advantage that you can over another driver.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, from time to time I find myself in the same position when I'm on the racetrack, so I definitely can't blame none of these drivers, and just sometimes you're put in a tough spot.
All right, we're doing another lap here. We'll see the green flag this time by with 22 laps to go when they take it. Shearer, Khan, two champions, gonna be on this front row. And Bryce, I'd watch for that number 6 again of Chris Phillips. That third row on the outside, we saw what he was able to do last time when he was put in a similar position. We'll see if he can duplicate it again and potentially take the race lead.
Yeah, absolutely. It looked like we do have another pace lap added here, so we're going to do another pace lap at least. So we haven't talked about it yet. You know, the famous saying, this changes everything. We're going to have less than 20 to go. There's no more pit stops. Track position is now a key. And I'm not sure we're going to have a run long enough for tires really matter. So I think all that crazy racing that we've watched all night long, we're about to amp it up with the leaders here, and this is going to be the most exciting 20 laps you'll probably see at Chicagoland. So this is going to be exciting to see how it pulls off. And you mentioned it, Chris Phillips on the outside line, starting third row instead of fourth row. So we've seen him get it done once, but we see it again.
Chris Phillips, this black and the neon yellow number 6 machine, looking to duplicate it again with what he did on a restart about 30-40 laps ago. And if he's able to do it, he could potentially put himself in position for the race win. And with Khan coming down pit road, it's now going to be Shearer and Ledford making up this front row. Pace car should be coming down pit road this time by. We'll see if it decides to pull off. Yes, it will. Bud gonna lead these guys into the restart zone. Ledford the inside. Green flag in the air. We're back in racing with 21 laps to go here from Chicagoland. A dead even restart for that front row. Door banging as they head into turns 1 and 2. The 47 of Mathis. I'm gonna probably botch your last name, but Bernatchez looking to make it a 3-horse battle for the race lead. Looking to the inside for second place for the time being. And these guys behind them trying to sort it out all over the place, trying to gain every advantage that they can while they're in position and bunched up together.
Yeah, Oscar, you said it. We We have Mathis now, and he's looking. He's driving the hardest he can right now. He is running P2 at the moment, doing a fantastic drive in just the second start here.
Look at all those different lines being taken. These drivers know that with 20 laps coming to 19 laps to go, there's not a lot of time, and we had an incident back in the pack, I believe. I'm trying to figure out who that was that we saw go around. It looks like potentially Barry Nelson involved in it. Hard contact with that outside wall, just trying to nurse it back around. Still green flag racing though. These guys are going to see 18 laps to go at the line. A battle for third now. Phillips and Barker going at it. Bud Shear right there as well. "17 laps to go this time by." The top three have pulled away from the rest of the pack behind them by a few car lengths. You have to go back to this 5th position battle where you see these guys battling it out. Bud Shear, Tris trying to hang on again. He's going to lose the spot to Phillips. And then also Chanel. Sean Burke behind Truth Hoke. Dennis Warnes right there in the mix as well.
Yeah, something we haven't talked about this race, but something I learned about the track is the aerodynamics. We get them side by side, really slow, one another out. And that's why we've seen the top three move wide. As we have another caution, a big crash up back.
And this time it's going to be the 55 of Truth Hoke. He's going to make some contact with that outside wall down the back straightaway. Go for a spin, and now able to get it going. Doesn't look like there's a lot of damage, but he definitely did make contact with the outside wall. And this is really going to bunch these guys up. And if we haven't seen aggressive and hard driving already, Bryce, we definitely will now.
Yeah, I'm not sure if any of these leaders have any sets of tires left. So when we restart this, we're like 13 laps to go. We're going to see the most aggressive driving, and now with some very worn tires. You wouldn't think they were too worn, but these guys have been going 100% since that green flag came back out. So there's definitely some extra wear on these tires.
Some wear on the tires, not many laps to go. Drivers trying to put themselves in contention for either the win or the best finish possible. Unfortunately, Hoke not getting luck here on his side, going for the spin. Let's look at it. So they're 3 wide for sure, battling it out. A little bit of contact, looks like, with the 05 of Chanel. I think Robert Kahn also getting a piece of that. Yeah, Chanel definitely got loose in the middle there. And a little bit of contact from that sent Hoke down. And then Robert Kahn, I think, just trying to avoid hitting either one of those drivers, unfortunately got into the right rear of Hoke, which then sent him around spinning. Take a look at it here again. A nice job by the field to avoid hitting the 55, who was spinning in the middle of the track. But Bryce, That really just looks like what you see out of typical Chicagoland. The truck in the middle getting loose, coming off the exit of 2. And then unfortunately, guys, not having enough room to save it. And this is the result. Is you just get contact made, and next thing you know, trucks are going around not on purpose, but just because this track is so tight off the exits. And unfortunately for Hoke, he's going to have some ground to make up here on this restart.
Yeah, it's exactly what you said. It looked like 2 trucks just got loose, met in the middle in that contact, and really just send you sideways. And the fact that that wasn't bigger is incredible. I really thought that would have definitely taken out 3 or 4 guys. And just a highlighted driver who really got lucky with that was Christian Schreiber. He made a last-second move to the right-hand side towards that wall and just almost got clipped and got sent around, but did not. So great driving by him.
And he's going to be able to restart in 7th, I believe, with that wreck avoidance. And could have been a different story for him. We'll see if he can maybe put that good driving to use here. Maybe move him up a few extra spots and put him up towards that front row into the restart zone. Green flag back in here. We're off and racing again with 12 laps to go. A good restart by Ledford in that top spot, but the 47 of Mathis Bernatchez right there in tow.
Yeah, all things considered, Mathis didn't really have the best restart there, but he's still right there in contention for this win. So didn't get the best restart there, but he capitalized on making what he could out of it. He did a great job getting back up to speed. And he is right there. He's clear of P3, and he's going to go for this win.
11 laps to go. The top 3 all right there together. Chris Phillips looking to make the most of this restart, trying to get that truck worked together. Henry Barker behind, going at it for 4th. And then guys spread throughout the field just side by side, trying to gain every position that they can, knowing they only have 10 laps to go, Bryce. Time's running out, and you got to start moving now.
Yeah, absolutely. Just like you said, this track is all about momentum. You got to build that momentum. And I was saying it before that last caution came out, but you're side by side. Excuse me. You're absolutely killing your momentum. Side by control. And that's when you start to see these guys start to pull gaps and will manufacture.
Michael Chanel taking a look to the inside of Bud Shear here, entering turns 1 and 2. Bud trying to make that truck wide, using all those lanes that he can. Chanel, though, on the inside, able to keep in touch, and even though Shear is going to get the momentum off of 2, he's not going to be able to take a break because Michael is still there. And now some contact up ahead, maybe some checkup as well is going to open the door for 3 wide and some contact.
Did not believe they held on to that. Great driving by all 3 of those drivers.
Great job by all 3 of those drivers. Indeed, they're able to hang on to it and keep it going. That's the 14 of Shriver, who almost went around. Now he's trying to hold off Bud. Bud almost clear, but not quite off at 4. It's a bit of a bobble. It's going to cost him some time. Dennis right behind, looking to pounce. More contact made on entry as well between those 2 drivers. And now I think Bud is going to be able to clear. Yes, he will. And that 14 is going to give a little bit of a bump to the 93 down this back straightaway. Those guys getting single filed out, and now Bud going to have to try and find a way to manage through some of these guys up in front of him. That's the 46 of Barker, and then also Henry and Phillips right there in the mix as well, as they're 3 wide off of 2.
we haven't talked about Bud Shear hardly at all tonight, and now we find him running If Bud Shear can pull this off, what a drive, what a comeback. From having one of the most unhandling trucks running mid-teens all race long and making a late charge as he is up to P2 now.
Bud has 5 laps to get to Jeffrey Ledford for the race win. Able to move himself into a position these last couple laps, looking to close that gap down even more, and they've got contact behind. Oh, coming up the track. That's a hard lick right there, Bryce. And more contact, more trucks piling in.
We have a lot to unpack there. That was a lot of wrecks in a short span of time right there.
The field not having anywhere to go with the 14 of Shriver getting spun around and then coming back up on track, and hard contact with that outside wall. And like you said, Bryce, a lot of drivers involved in a lot of unpacking to do here. That's almost a quarter of the field, I'd say, were involved in that wreck.
Yeah, it's not too often you see a bigger wreck at Chicagoland than we do at the previous week's opening Super Speedway race, for sure.
Let's go back and try and pick apart this incident. We actually have to go back a little bit further. So, battling the 6 car and the 94 and the 90, and maybe trying to side draft the 90 of Dennis Warnes, and then those two making contact. The 14 coming back up across the track. The 87 nowhere to go. The 21 of Robert Kahn also involved. I think that's the 5 truck of Alex Foster also involved there in that last couple of seconds of the wreck.
It almost looks like Christian Shriver didn't know he was 3 wide and expected Dennis Warnes and the outlier truck to be closer to the wall. That's what it almost looks like to me. He didn't know he was 3 wide.
Yeah, and that could be very well the case. I mean, it was a late 3 wide move to not really forced by any of those drivers, to just kind of naturally happen. And if you're not getting the call that you're 3 wide, I mean, you really don't know it. And with the contact between the 90 and the 14, I mean, I kind of agree with you. I don't know if they completely knew that they were 3 wide and maybe trying to race like it was 2 wide. 14 of Shriver maybe trying to side draft, and again, like you said, maybe not knowing that there wasn't as much room up above him to work with. We'll take a wild ride on board here with Shriver.
Brendan McKee had the best shot of that initial wreck that there could be. How he did not get involved or get any damage from this, it's beyond me. That was just pure luck.
Let's ride on board with him then. Wow, that was, all right, that was very close. I can't believe he didn't actually get any front end damage from that. That was, wow, that was so close.
Green flag is back out, and Jeffrey Ledford gets a great jump on the outside as they're already looking 3 wide off the front stretch.
3 wide in the middle of the pack. 3 wide for the third row. 2 wide for the race lead. Bud Shear, Ledford going at it side by side down the back straightaway. Phillips.
Can Jeffrey Ledford do it?
Can Ledford do it? Phillips right there as well in third, looking to try and capitalize on these top 2 racing at the top spot. White flag is in the air. 1 more lap to go. We're wrecking in the back, but still under green flag racing conditions.
Dead even for the race lead. Jeffrey Ledford looking to go back-to-back. Bud Shear looking to start his title defense with another win. They're dead even going to 3 and 4.
Side by side into turns 3 and 4. It's going to be a drag racing coming off of turn 4. Bud Shear going to be able to clear Ledford for the race win and win at Chicagoland.
What a race and what a sun by Bud Shear. He just sent it to the bottom and got it to stick and even clear.
Able to clear into turns 3 and 4 right there in the final set of turns. Starting off this season with as much momentum as he possibly could. A win here and a podium finish last week. Bud Shear trying to defend his title.
Yeah, I think no doubt this is going to be an exciting interview that you two will have, and I can't wait to hear what he has to say about this race, because we talked about it earlier. It didn't look like he had the speed to really compete, and then just out of nowhere with 15 to go, we start seeing him make that late race charge and just pulled it off. It didn't even seem like that truck had any tire wear at the end.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm as surprised as you are. I thought for sure that Bud would maybe not be able to get that race lead like that because of how it looked to be going with those last couple of laps. We're going to take a look at it again here, and I mean, what a finish, and Bud holding it strong, going down the back straightaway, those two in a dead even drag race, and then Ledford looked like he might be able to get some outside momentum, but Bud just powered down and able to clear himself off of 4 and taking home the victory at the start and finish line. What a power move there by Bud. Let's go ahead and get a race winner in here. Bud Shear, congrats on the race win. What a heck of a finish. And what a way to just power your way through turns 3 and 4 right there at the end. How on earth did you make that stick going into turns 3 and 4?
Yeah, we put them tires on with like 14 to go and had to start back in the back again. I figured we were going to send it every lap and get there. Oh, I had to work for that one.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like, you know, like you said, about 15 laps ago, you kind of were migrated back, and then you kind of just slowly started ticking these guys off one by one. And then, I mean, from what it looked like, these guys really were giving it their all and not allowing anybody to really make any ground up, even for guys who were on maybe a little bit newer tires. I mean, it was really overall a great race, and a lot of these guys, obviously, probably trying to keep you from victory lane and not defending your title here this season, but you're able to come out on top. And I mean, what a heck of a race, and I'm sure you're probably excited to be able to defend the titles again this season. And we kind of talked last week, you don't really seem like there's a lot of pressure on you still, and you really just want to come out here for the fun. And you know, with a driver mentality like that, I think you might be hiding or underlying some things from inside that racetrack. I think me and Bryce both sort of think that there's definitely still some competitive edge hiding underneath you that we haven't heard or seen from you. But, I mean, finding yourself in victory lane here at Chicago, what a better way to start off this season with a race win in race number 2?
Yeah, tonight was about strategy, and then the way those cautions fell, you could have been completely screwed so easily. And Sean was a bit hesitant because he did the same thing I did. And I told him to stay out and he didn't want to. And then we took gas and he didn't want to. And no tires. And then at the end there, I said to him, all right, now it's time to pit. He's like, are you sure? I'm like, yeah, this is it. Bed's made. We'll go green with 12 to go. And it's got to be 12 qualifying laps. And it was 4 to go before that first caution at the end came out. I just ran Ledford down. And it was over. We were going into one that time, taking it. So we didn't need very many laps on those fresh tires. They were so much faster, like a second and a half faster. That was just not even fair with those tires. But those cautions definitely made it interesting because Ledford was pinching me down there, and I couldn't really do a whole lot without hitting him. I didn't want to hit him, so it took a little longer to pass him, but we finally got him. He did an awesome job on them tires, so congrats to him on, I believe he got second. And yeah, that was an awesome race all night. There was, I'd say, about 8 cars that could have won that race tonight, so that's nice to see.
Yeah, and you mentioned Ledford finishing second. Kind of reversed roles from what we saw last week, where Ledford barely nudged you out for the race win. Now it's either good karma or maybe the race lord's paying you back and allowing you to finish ahead. And going on, I know we have 2 weeks off, which is going to be probably difficult for some of these guys, maybe yourself as well. But when we come back, heading to Las Vegas, what does Vegas look like for you in the trucks? Or have you not been there in the trucks before?
Yeah, we've been there. Vegas is all right. Mile and a halves are typically not my strong suit. I'm at a bit of a disadvantage compared to anywhere else. So they're kind of hit and miss for me. It's like tonight we didn't qualify very good. We were pretty slow on single lap speed. However, I felt like we were better on 5, 10, 15 lap speed. So yeah, Vegas, we might show up and be ridiculously fast, or we could be probably the slowest car out there. I'm not quite sure what's going to happen yet. Find out in a couple weeks when I get on track.
Well, that we will do. And Bud, congrats on the race win. Before I let you go celebrate the race win, do you have any shout outs or sponsors you'd like to thank or give?
Give a big thanks to you guys for putting on this every week, and I keep making Bryce speechless, so I'm doing something right. And big thanks to Chantel and everybody at Lightning eSports for putting this on and giving us somewhere to call home, and Sean Burke and RBS Racing, and yeah, come back a couple weeks and try to do it again.
Alrighty, Bud. Congrats on the race win again, and hopefully we can speak to you in a few weeks and continue this streak of podium finishes for you.
Thank you kindly, guys. You guys have a good one.
That was a race winner, Bud Shear. Always love talking to him, Bryce. I know you don't really get a chance to talk with him during the interview, but I mean, he always seems so upbeat about everything and just brings a positive mindset. Even when his races don't result in a race win, he's just always so positive in bringing up himself and just not really letting anything get to him.
Yeah, absolutely. And, don't really get the chance to talk to him much when he's doing all this winning. So when he's not talking to me in the podium interviews, that means he's doing something right. So congrats again to Bud Shear on his race win, and now going to truly start his championship pursuit and defending his championship.
And with that, let's go ahead and transition over to Jeffrey Ledford, our second place finisher.
Yeah, I'm standing on pit road here with Jeffrey Ledford, our season opening winner, and finishing P2 here on the track. Obviously, it looked like there was a lot of strategy out there tonight, so just take us through the last 15 or so laps of your race, Jeff.
Oh, man, we took that second to last caution there and took tires and stuff because we didn't take them under the green flag pit. So we knew we had maybe a lap or two better tires than some. I didn't know people kept so many blocks. So we was just trying to go hard there and hope it stayed green so we could build a bigger gap. We got a couple cautions there, which helped cushion us to get to the end on fuel. So it was going to be close anyway, but it was an awesome race. Bud had a perfect time to get those last set of tires there and come through the field. And I think if there wouldn't have been that last caution, he would have walked away a little more, but the caution come out, it gave me a chance to really race him hard, and I hope we put on a good show because I had a blast.
You guys definitely put on a great show from start to finish. Obviously, we have a 2-week break, and then we head to Vegas. With us racing a mile and a half here tonight and then going to be going to Las Vegas, do you think there was anything you learned here to maybe be put in that you can use Las Vegas here in 3 weeks' time?
Yeah, there's a couple things I've got in the notebook tucked away, and safe hiding in the top drawer. Saving the truck, staying out of trouble, staying clean, trying to get to the end and be there to get another podium. 2 in a row is nice.
Absolutely. We really thought we didn't know the tires at the time, and I was saying that's how you're going to get that 2 in a row. I have a little bit of commentator's jinx in the background, but you put out a go, and honestly, you got locked into this and another podium, building that momentum and learning more and more about what this truck will do this season. So, doing a great job there. Before we let you go, is there anyone you want to thank or any friends, sponsors?
Yeah, I want to thank my team, Foothills Motorsports, first and foremost. Those guys, week in and week out, are just, I love working for them. Personal sponsor of mine and a business I run is 3J Printing and Design. Check us out on Facebook. Anything you might need, any kind of circuitry for you might need to have, whether it be sim racing or any you can think of, hit us up, get you a quote. One is over at Turn Sector Media. Y'all do an awesome job on week in and week out. And I want to thank Poddle and the whole Lightning Esports League over here for putting on a great show.
Yes, sir. And congratulate again to your P2 finish. And we can't wait to see you at Las Vegas and potentially talking to you again.
Thanks, y'all. Have a good night.
That was place finisher. Let's go ahead and pull up our third place finisher, Sean Burke. Sean able to finish third here in the race tonight. Pretty much running in the top 10 about that last about 30, 40 laps. And then really able to come out with a nice finish. And I know at a track like this, there were certain points in the race where it looked to be pretty difficult for you out there, either make a pass or just trying to defend guys. I guess, what exactly was it like for you in your race tonight, and what strategies did you play differently that might have helped you?
Oh, man. It's nice to see you guys again. We're going to each other a lot. And what crazy night, 94 Jurassic Park Chevy Silver. It was hard to pass out there, but we had a really fast machine tonight. Gotta say huge thanks to everybody over there at RBS Racing, my teammate Bud Shearer. We a serious truck tonight. Just didn't have there at the end win, maybe another lap. We would have been standing right next to Bud, but I guess we're over here on third place here in the podium, but we'll take it.
Yeah, and it's always good to be able to speak with you, and I feel like it's been forever, and it's really only been a few weeks since we really got to speak with you, but there's so much really unknowns going into this season, I'd say. I mean, there's new faces, the fields are pretty stacked, and it's a different car from what we had last season. It's a truck versus the ARCA. Is there really any difference out there for you this season, or is it maybe something where you're just able to compare those two and take all that knowledge and potentially maybe have a little bit upper edge with how this series league out and kind of is towards the end of these things. I mean, what really is the difference from this season and last season for you?
Well, obviously the truck, it's a little bit faster, a little bit harder to rotate than the ARCA car. It doesn't stick as much to the track, but I think that knowledge from last season really transferred well. Obviously, you can see with teammates, he's quite the Joe. He's basically like having a crew chief on the track there with me, so that helps a lot. You know, the other thing that really helps, you know, I don't want to give anything away with one of our sponsors, Jurassic Park. If you haven't seen the movie, please, you know, spoiler alert, but there's a billionaire. His name is John Hammond. He builds a park with dinosaurs in it, and he says he spared no expense. And I feel like that's what we've done here with this car. Our car owner, Big JB Dinosaur Research, you know, Jackson Burke, he's really, you know, all the donations he gets from the public, he's just dumping straight into this truck. So I really appreciate that. And I also appreciate Safe Yellow Rafts. They're really good. Go get them. Some of those in the park movie. And yeah, going. Bud Shearer going out there getting that win for RBS Racing. We're gonna keep this momentum going. Hopefully, we get a lot of podiums this season.
Well, I hope that will also be the case, and always enjoy talking with you and being you with a podium. Before I let you go, though, is there any other sponsors you'd like to thank, or any more shouts you'd like to give, or I guess any last comments in general?
Yeah. Well, I got to thank you guys, and thanks for being ready to have me up here, you know, interviewing with you here on Pit Road. Appreciate it. Appreciate your guys' modifications you've made to the stream. You're always improving, which is good to see. You already have a really good stream, but I saw some of the things that you're doing to continue to improve. And then Lightning Esports. This is a really great league. I'm seeing some new faces. So let's keep the racing clean. We've had a couple of really good ones. Talladega, we had one caution. This race is always tough in Chicago. It's really hard to pass 3-4 wide. So just hang in there, everybody. We've got a couple of weeks for us to figure out how we're going to add extra. Don't tell anybody. Add another gallon or so if we add an extra long fuel line there to this truck. And like I said, I hope I didn't spoil this great Jurassic Park movie. If you haven't seen it, go out there in theaters, check it out. It's really a good draft.
All right. We'll hopefully be able to speak with you, and at least at the minimum, see you at Las Vegas here in a couple of weeks. And until then, thank you for taking a minute to speak with us, and go enjoy your third place finish.
Let's go. All right. Have a good one. Thank you.
All right. That's Sean Burke, our third place finisher, and always about that Jurassic Park, and always, I'd say, as scary as a dinosaur out there on track. He's definitely, you see him in your mirror, and you know he's coming for your position, and knowing that he's probably going to make a move, and he did just exactly what he needed to do tonight, ending up finishing third. And Bryce, what a heck of a run from all those three drivers that we spoke to, but also Henry and Barker behind and fourth. I mean, there's a lot of games who finished field who either kind of from or leaving off from where they left off last season.
Yeah, absolutely. And something I'd be paying more closer is the strategies that played out here tonight. Definitely seeing a lot of different strategies. We had drivers saving their tires for late race cautions, and others that were taking those right away. So definitely very interesting, and we've seen the shuffled around there those last 50 laps. But really great green flag pits, long green flags, and some great racing there at the end. So couldn't ask for more for Chicagoland and what these drivers provided us.
Yeah, I definitely agree with everything right there. These drivers gave us one heck of a show One heck of a finish again. Not as close as it was last week, but still came down to the last 7 turns. And seeing Bud Shear leave off with where he was last season, looking to defend his title once again. Or I say once, at least defend his year. Let's go take a little results. Bud Shear, Jeffrey Ledford, Sean Burke, each got to talk to those drivers just a few moments ago. With the top 3 finishing positions, Jason Henry, Chris Barker, rounding out your top 5. Chris Phillips, Michael Chanel, Mathis Bernatchez, 8th, 9th, and then Adam Michael Ware, Brent Barry Nelson, Jonathan, Mike Roke, Kyle Dale, Pottle, Christian Shriver, rounding out your top 20, and then rounding out through the rest of the field, we have Owen Russell, Rusty Jordan, Alex Foster. Remember, Foster had some heavy damage. Kevin Baker with not a great involved in the fence there. I hit the so we'll pop that up. We'll go back and pop that up again. And then Joshua Pannell there in 25th. Sebastian Chanel and Brandon Forcade finishing out the field. Well, Bryce, we've got a lot to look forward to for race number 3 if things are going to keep up to be this way and continue to shape up to be what looks like is going to be a heated battle for these positions. It's not playoff spots, and I'm a little sad that we have to wait 2 weeks till these guys get back out on track in the Lightning eSports Truck Series, because what a first few races these races have been for the series.
Yeah, you said it. Exciting finish at Talladega, and then an exciting finish at Chicago. A lot to be excited for this, and I think some drivers will take advantage of this 2-week break. They'll probably put some practice in for Las Vegas, and we could see some position shuffle up there when we get there, and see some guys that maybe ran further in the back. We could see them up front 2 weeks Las Vegas with practice, so it'll be exciting. I think right now we're championship favorite after race number 2, and that being Bud Shear, obviously, and Jeffrey Ledford, who almost went back-to-back to start this season.
Yeah, completely agree with that. Those two drivers definitely starting off this season strong and flip-flop the roles this week, but definitely looking to continue the hot streak at Las Vegas. We'll see if another driver can put themselves into the early strong kind of placement of being maybe a playoff favorite here early on in this season. But again, that's going to be a little bit of a wait because Las Vegas 2 weeks away. Unfortunately, it's going to seem like forever for probably some of these drivers, some of the fans out there, but I promise you, when these guys come back, it'll definitely be worth every minute of waiting, and I'm excited to see these guys back on track at Las Vegas. Again, that'll be in 2 weeks' time right here on Turn Sector Media. And Bryce, I don't really have any other comments to add before, do you?
What do you think, man? Congrats like Bud Shear on picking up another win. And thank you to all the fans and watchers that watched our race tonight, and couldn't do it without them. And can't wait to get back up there at Las Vegas, one of my favorite mountain hats on the iRacing service.
Alrighty, well, with that, once again, I'm Oscar Jensen. This is Bryce Shoemaker. Thank you guys for tuning into the race this week. I think it's so difficult. This still definitely take a look into that, and I think I actually see it happening right now. I'm not quite sure what's going on there, but we'll get that fixed and worked out. And when we come back to Las Vegas, hopefully we will see either some familiar faces in victory lane or a new face looking to put themselves in contention for this championship early on. One other thing I will add quick is we do have the Turn Sector Media website, which will be being dropped here very shortly. So keep your eyes out on that, as it's going to be one of the coolest things, in my opinion. And I think it's definitely going to change the name of the game for not only broadcasting in general, but on iRacing. And I look forward to being able to share that publicly here again, hopefully very shortly. And we'll see you guys in a few weeks at Las Vegas.
To get the most eyes on your vehicle, you need the best that the rest will see. At Lightning Wraps, you get the best at an affordable price compared to the rest. Be sure to check us out on Facebook for more information.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Got a great car, great team. We'll execute. Our time. We know what we gotta do. Stay in the fight between the walls.
Time to turn the intensity up.
Fight to the end, no matter what happens. Good day to be in victory lane.
Green flag is in the air. Driving with conviction.
Side by side, hammer down.
The afterchecks are lit. Count out anybody. Who wants it the most?
We are eyes on the leader now.
He is driving his guts out. Wheel to wheels, they come to the line. Victory this will be.
Nobody wants it more than you.
Next flag is going to end it.
Does he have enough? A dominant performance.
Gotta stay down, baby. Let's go.
Can you believe what you are seeing? Everybody pushing as hard as they can. Get it. One final shot.
Gotta earn this thing right here to the end.
It is all on the table.
A total 500.
What you know about rolling down in the deep? Down in the deep.
Never know y'all be loving this shit
What
right
you know
here.
about rolling?
What you gonna do?
Rolling.
What you gonna do?
Down in the